Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. Let me check my mic settings here, make sure they're not all messed up. They're a little messed up. Fixing it. Is that less that's less messed up. That's better. It's not as messed up. Okay, y'all. Hope you're doing well. This is going to be your average every other week Thursday night live stream here, guys. As we usually do, we're going to be taking super chats, answering questions, audience interactions. Somebody asked, did the man who invented college go to college? No, he didn't. Well, I mean, he had to go to the college to invent it. So he was there. He was there at its invention. So on a technicality, yes, he did go to the college. He had to be there every once in a while to sort of make sure that the college was, doing well, making money, all that stuff. So yes, he did go to college. So there you go. All right, guys. I guess this is kind of a little bit of a special live stream because I'm gonna spoil something for you. I'm gonna tell you guys something. I have the new Brockhampton album early. I had it like last week. I asked Kevin Abstract for it so that I can get my review out on a timely fashion because the list week is starting next week. So I said, man, if there is a promo available, which you are giving to other publications, I would love that. So I could see my way to answering some questions about Saturation 3. But of course I cannot give my score away. I can't give my score away because my review is pretty much written. So I can't be giving away any like, super pivotal review details, but certain questions I could see myself answering. And that's it, guys. We're just going to do a regular live stream here. Might cut it out a little early because I need to go shoot the Brockhampton review as well as Chris Stapleton review. All right, guys. Oh, come on here. Here we go. What is your opinion on Tory Lanez? All you said about his debut album, I told you, was that there were too many skits. Obviously, I'm still getting over a little bit of a cough. I apologize, guys. I think he's average. Just one of these average rappers that sort of inhabits that middle-of-the-road lane between, hey, you get a little bit of mainstream contemporary R&B, you get a little bit of mainstream contemporary rap. It's just okay. It's just okay, and he's just okay. It doesn't really stand out to me in any way, shape, or form, honestly. Thank you very much, Tim. Do you prefer Merciful Fate or King Diamond solo stuff? Ooh, Merciful Fate. Merciful Fate all the way. King Diamond stuff, though Merciful Fate is definitely a campy band, King Diamond stuff is maybe a little bit too campy for my taste, but, it certainly doesn't ruin it, but I do prefer Merciful Fate a little bit more. Thank you very much, Jason. Jason, thank you. Special Edition Grandmaster Deluxe. I know I didn't review it. I know. I guess I wasn't as impressed by the verses as I hoped that I would be. And it's probably not going to, the review is probably not going to happen this year. It's either going to happen early next year or it's going to be in the next Why You Know review. Either or, but it's not going to happen. And I apologize. I'm sorry for that. I wish I could review every fucking thing. You better leak that shit ASAP. I ain't leaking shit. Okay? I'm not. I'm just not. Hey, man, I was wondering if you had heard of Regular Car Reviews. They do stuff kind of like what you do except for cars and bikes. That sounds pretty cool. No, I have not. But I can't say I'm really much of a gearhead, so I don't know if I would have much interest in the channel personally, but anybody who's watching, if you're a gearhead and you're into cars and bikes, then you should probably check out that channel. Do they give things strong 6s and 7s? I hope so. Do they rip off my rating scale? How much do you know about classical music? Not really enough to comment on it, honestly. I know some, normie entry-level pieces and composers, but honestly, I don't really know enough to comment on it, which is why I don't review it. Which is why when people say, hey, Anthony, Are you going to be reviewing classical music soon? I say no. I'm not, because I barely know enough shit about classical music to really kind of pinpoint influences, pinpoint why certain things sound certain ways. I don't really know much about the terminology that goes into much of the music, and I'm pretty much a layman. So I'm sorry, guys. I just don't really know enough about classical music to say much about it or comment on it. How would I recommend someone with basic knowledge to get into it? I have basic knowledge of it. So, I mean, I can't really sort of talk about it in a way where I wouldn't really educate anybody who has more than just basic knowledge of it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, when it comes to classical music, I pretty much suck. Favorite Christmas song? Did I listen to Panzer Ballet? I know that I saved that super chat, and I wasn't able to listen to a bunch of new ones this week because I was listening to the Brockhampton, and I have to get ready for list week. But I'm not sure if I listened to that one. But favorite Christmas song? I don't know what my favorite Christmas song is. I know my least favorite is Paul McCartney's "We'll be having a wonderful Christmas time. We'll be having a wonderful Christmas time." I hate that one. That one's garbage. I think "Last Christmas" is really good. I think "Let It Snow" is great. And I really like "Jingle Bell Rock," especially the Rogue Wave cover of that song. The Rogue Wave cover of that song is excellent. And there's a new amazing rap version of "Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer" out there thanks to DMX, and that's probably one of my new Christmas favorites. Flaming Lips Classic Review. I'm not sure for this year because I've pretty much already picked out what groups I'm going to be talking about. And Go Team, I've always thought were kind of average in my opinion. Hey, Anthony, please make some more merch. I have more glasses coming on the way that I have ordered because I know those sold out really fast. And I have 500 more slip mats coming out very soon. And I'm going to be coming out with a new shirt soon. So I will be making some more and releasing some more merch very soon. I may even release the glasses like just before Christmas, even though they won't get there in time for Christmas. I'll be able to send them out immediately afterwards. So. Fact, rock and roll is dead as fuck. Question, are there any current bands that can save it? Maybe King Gizzard, maybe Idols, maybe, I don't know. I thought at one time Dope Body could save rock and roll, but they broke up. Yeah, honestly, I feel like just rock and roll is dead, not because rock and roll isn't good or that there aren't any good bands out there. I feel like it's just kind of a little irrelevant because the new generation just kind of wants to define itself by a different sound and a different direction, you know? I feel like a lot of millennials sort of see rock music as old hat, and it's not the kind of sonic rebellion that they themselves want to kind of be riding. And I feel like, hip hop is kind of and especially a lot of the SoundCloud rap music is kind of serving that purpose for them. Hey, Melon. What did you think about the new Miriam the Believer album and the Friendship album? You mentioned both in the best to worst tracks. I didn't listen to the Friendship one, but the Miriam the Believer one I thought was just okay. It seemed like way more straightforward art pop than her last record. It wasn't quite as expansive and as mystical. Disappointed me a little bit, honestly. I'm not sure if, I'm probably not going to get a review of it out. It'll maybe either get a formal review at some point early next year, or it'll be in the next Why You Know review. I was just sort of let down by it, unfortunately. Hey, Anthony, you rock. Friend is a hip-hop head getting into metal for the first time. Recommendations? I'm thinking of something more accessible and groovish, not too complex, technical, or growly. Yeah, I'd say that's a good move. You know, like just pick like maybe some of the better nu metal bands out there, you know, or like some good mainstream thrash metal to kind of start with, and then maybe work backwards to the classics like Black Sabbath or Iron Maiden or something. I would say that's a good move. What do you think of Gary Clark Jr.? I think he's a talent, but he just vocally, he doesn't really stick out to me. You know, like he's definitely holding a torch very successfully for an older style of music. But I'm not crazy about it. I'm not crazy about it personally. And Nujabes is cool, and I reviewed his posthumous record. Tons of respect to him. What is your opinion on power metal? It could be a little corny. You know, it's really what I feel about it. I mean, there's some good bands out there, but really it's just like, I don't know. I just prefer heavy metal to power metal a lot of the time. Like to me, power metal just kind of focuses on a lot of the worst excesses of heavy metal, whereas with just heavy metal originally, I just kind of see them as being sort of at the right, I guess, amount or quantity or consistency. I could see the appeal though of some people wanting, those qualities kind of turned up to fucking 11, in a different genre or sort of subgenre of metal music though. Okay, come on. Yeah. No, got that one. Thank you very much, Cheyenne. Thank you very much, Aldous. Soundtracks for the Blind Classic Review. Not this year. Maybe at some point in the future. How do I feel about prog metal? I recommend the Antique. Okay, I'll save that recommendation. Solid EP. A lot of prog metal to me, I mean, if it's raw and it's kind of nasty, I do like it. A lot of the more overproduced stuff is a huge turnoff for me. Like if it's sounding like, I'm just listening to a machine as opposed to a band, it does kind of turn me off. I do kind of like a certain level of rawness with my rock music and metal in general. It's, I don't know, I just suck like that. Tool album ratings from and worst to best, really interested to hear in-depth thoughts on each album. I could see myself doing a worst to best on Tool for sure. Their discography is pretty short. They're going to come out with a new album very soon, from what I hear, in 2018. So I believe during the last stream, somebody brought this up and asked me if I would be interested in doing such a thing, and I definitely am. And Tool's discography is one I'm familiar with, so it wouldn't be too much of an inconvenience to sort of pull that together. What did you think of the new Nerd track with Kendrick? Are you going to be reviewing the album? Hell yes, I'm going to be reviewing the album. I haven't heard the Kendrick track yet, so I'm actually kind of interested in that. I've just been sort of buckling down and listening to the Brockhampton so I can get that review done by tomorrow, so I can have a relatively easy time of just list week going over pretty smoothly without missing a day, because I do still have the EPs video, worst singles, worst albums, best albums. But the two previous ones, the one with Rihanna, one with Future, to me so far, Nerd is 2 for 2. And the one with Kendrick, Kendrick's single is probably not going to be bad. So it's actually a really exciting record for me. I'm pretty much looking forward to a hardcore. Moving on from there, what do you think of Julian Casablancas' solo album? I thought it was really boring, honestly. I didn't care for it much at all. I just skipped it when it came out. I didn't even cover it when I had the needle drop going around that time. But I am excited for the new Voids album. I liked the last one quite a bit. It's a flawed record. It has its messy, sort of unlikable moments, but I think it's actually a really good, creative, noisy, experimental rock record. So I'm kind of hoping they stick to that style with this new record and they kind of plow forward and continue to just try new things and experiment with new sounds and textures. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the Voids record for sure. Brian, which one's better, Insomniac or Dookie? Dookie all the fucking way, man. Yoshimi or Soft Bulletin? Yoshimi or Soft Bulletin? I guess Soft Bulletin, and I would go Revolver over Rubber Soul every day of the week. So, hey Anthony, big fan. Just wanted to know if you checked out the new Bell Witch Mirror Reaper. I did. I think it's going to make it into the next Why You Know review. It didn't really connect with me. Like, I appreciated its very strung out doom metal style, but it seems to, in a very weird way, be fused with like slowcore music. It just tested my patience a little bit, which is odd because I really enjoyed the new Primitive Man album, but I guess that record just feels really visceral to me as to where the Bell Witch album doesn't, honestly. So it's just one of those records that I feel like I wasn't crazy about, but still in retrospect, I'm probably going to regret having not reviewed it at the time that I should have, because it's still a pretty relevant record and a lot of people seem to enjoy it. But honestly, like, maybe it's for the best because I didn't really care for it that much and I don't want to piss on everybody's parade. I liked your Chelsea Wolfe reviews. What's your favorite song by her? Mine's After the Fall and Hypnos. Probably maybe like one of the maybe the intro track of fucking No, you know what? It's a song off of. Let me see over here. It's probably one of my favorite ones. Is probably Dragged Out. Like probably Abyss is my favorite of hers so far, and either that or Iron Moon or Carrion Flowers are so fucking heavy. I love it. How do I feel about Pavement, and what would you ever consider doing a classic review for anything from them? I would consider doing a Pavement classic review. Generally, I think they're pretty good slacker rock 90s band. Not one of my favorite 90s bands, but definitely one of the better ones. And Dead Kennedys Worst to Best. Oh, that would be such a... that would be such a, hey, I'm the only person that cares about that, so I'm going to do it idea. Maybe one day, if I'm feeling super indulgent, I fucking love the Dead Kennedys, one of the best punk bands of all time. Super underrated, in my opinion. Do you think a form of radio personality will come over into the new age of music streaming, like Spotify and podcasting, with a hint of traditional radio thrown in there? I don't know about that. I don't think music streaming platforms have any interest in sort of somebody kind of, disc jockeying on the platform, with maybe the exception of Apple Music, because Apple Music sort of has that whole Beats thing. So, I mean, kind of, I guess it sort of depends on whether or not that's a feature a music streaming service would actually want to have. Now, that's not to say it's impossible. I mean, I feel like the name of the game in the internet age is kind of curation and recommendation, and I feel like that's why a lot of people watch me. I feel like that's why a lot of people may watch somebody else who is trying to do something similar to me, whether it be on YouTube or maybe on a streaming service or something. But streaming services definitely do have an element of curation to them, and it's not really sort of in the traditional radio personality kind of way. I think if somebody is going to kind of rise up through the ranks using music streaming, it's going to be through playlisting. Like if somebody can effectively use playlists to kind of like turn people onto artists that they wouldn't have heard otherwise, then I feel like that could, sort of bring that person, I guess, some level of notoriety. But how you would monetize that or build off of that, I'm not entirely sure, Am I a fan of Y and Yoni Wolf? Not really, to be honest. Like even Alopecia is like, I could never get into it. And I do enjoy alternative hip hop much of the time, but it just never really kind of appealed to me, honestly. And I don't really know what exactly about it. I mean, I guess I would have to probably do a formal review in order to like really kind of comment on it, but I've never really been a huge Y fan, honestly, but still, thank you for supporting and thank you for asking. Hey, Anthony, is there a primary way I could contact you about working with you and your brand, doing anything from design or work to anything big up to you? I'll just save your little @ handle there. I assume it's on Twitter, and I'll just check you out. You're one of my favorite reviewers, and your videos really helped me through a rough period of anxiety and depression. Thank you. My question, what are some of your favorite sci-fi books, movies, etc.? Definitely Alien series. Let's see what else. I mean, Akira is definitely sci-fi, even though it's anime. Oh man, The Thing. The Thing is like amazing, sort of like little sci-fi monster movie. Love The Thing. Trying to think of what else. I kind of like that what fucking, The Mist. Is that a sci-fi movie? It's kind of sci-fi. I love The Mist. Stephen King's The Mist. That's great. Yeah. Trying to think of what else. What was that recent movie I saw? I can't, you know what one of my favorite sci-fi shows is? I mean, obviously I like a lot of the old, Twilight Zone shows, but Black Mirror is amazing. Fucking Black Mirror is amazing. Amazing show. Ugh. Hopefully those are some good, I don't know, I guess kind of a taste. A taste there. Thoughts on Sargon's Eminem video and the recent Millennial Woes live stream? I haven't watched his Eminem video. Is he just like responding to his freestyle? or a song of his, or was he responding to the new song or something? I haven't watched it. Did he do a live stream with Millennial Woes? I try to avoid anything Millennial Woes because he's just like an asshole and an idiot. So I just pretty much try to avoid anything Millennial Woes, anything having to do with that dickhead. So if you could only listen to Swans, Kendrick Lamar, or Death Grips for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? Also, you should check out Nomads by No Wild. Which one would I listen to? Oh boy. I feel like if I could only listen to one for the rest of my life, I feel like I would the thought of listening to anybody for the rest of my life makes me want to die. Making a mess on myself. I don't know, maybe Swans, but only because they have the biggest discography and the most material by length. So I guess it would ensure that I would probably be less bored over time. Any Death Grips influence / connections on Saturation 3? Also, the team effort announcement. Holy shit, these dudes have a crazy work ethic. Hell yes, they do. And actually, there is one song on the new album that I do compare to Death Grips, and in my review, I will say that. It's actually the song Sister / Nation, the kind of bustling, driving grooves and the jagged and the very angular bass line and the kind of howling, distorted tones that kind of pop up in that track. It's one of their weirdest tracks ever. It's so uncharacteristic for them. That track, there are moments in that track that actually kind of remind me of Death Grips. And there are actually quite a few moments where vocally, like, it has a little bit of an Outcast vibe, like like they've really been kind of like on some Andre 3000 shit. So, and there's a lot of nerd influences too, a little more than usual. Why did you think that the Downer album by Dem Atlas, what did I think about it? And did you hear the Bushwick soundtrack by Aesop Rock? Love you. I don't think I heard that soundtrack. And that Dem Atlas record really did not stand out to me at all, to the point where I know I heard it, but I can't even recall anything about it. Like, there was certainly an alternative kind of experimental sort of thing going on with the vocals, but like there's very little about that project that actually stood out to me, unfortunately, which is why I didn't end up reviewing it, because like I was listening to it and I was just like, I just don't recall a lot about this, and there's not a whole lot standing out to me. But thank you very much for supporting. What's up, Bustania Nut Tano? I'm writing an English essay and I want to do it about a rap album. In your opinion, what is a very lyrically complex rap album that an English teacher could respect? I mean, I think, I think maybe the new Open Mike Eagle album, maybe Good Kid, Mad City, maybe To Pimp a Butterfly. My recommendation to you would try to find a rap album that I reviewed or you see reviewed elsewhere that is conceptual. Because if a rap album has a concept and has a theme running throughout all the tracks, and it's also a lyrical MC, I feel like that'll give you more to write about. You won't be sort of halfway through your word count and just like, oh fuck, I don't know what else to say about this shit, because I've sort of run out of things to actually comment on. So, are you familiar with Todd Slant or Two Steps on the Water? How do you feel about that type of music? I'm not familiar with them at all, so thank you for the recommendation. I guess I'll just save it and check them out. I just donated and forgot to message. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Have you heard of Hobo Johnson? He's an up-and-coming rapper from... Yes, I have. He has like a really weird kind of yelpy voice. Some of his songs are kind of whiny too. I like how vulnerable some of his lyrics are, and he's got some hooks too. He's got personality. There were some elements of his music that to me came off maybe a little too sentimental, or a little bit too like... I'm trying hard to be emotional, but like still like he's got something unique going on. It seems like there are a lot of people who are giving him props and giving him accolades, and it's totally understandable why. Also, seems like he's got quite a bit of technical ability under his belt too. So he's somebody who I'm following. He's somebody who I'm watching for sure, without question. Hey, Anthony, loved your meme video yesterday. Brought back so many memories lost. My question is, do you plan to bring back something similar to that as the plan, either a new channel or the Fantano channel? Things are in the works. Just keep an eye out. Things are happening. Things are developing. keep faith in your melon. That's all I will say for right now. Keep faith in your melon, okay? Just have faith and just, ride with me, roll with me, stick with me, and all will pan out in the end, okay? We will get what we want, okay? Have a listen to the Staves' new album, Theo Katzman's album, Heartbreak Hits, and Plastic Jack's new singles, my boy. That's a lot of recommendations there, brudda, but I'll save them. Hey, Anthony, a while ago you tweeted out a song by Aussie band Methyl Ethel. Did I? I think I did. Did you happen to listen to any more tracks? Any chance of an album review? Did I tweet that out? I might have. I can't even remember that. Excuse me. Let me just save that. So I think I did. I'm gonna check him out and remind myself. If you say I tweeted it out, I probably did, and I'll remind myself to check him out and do a little bit more of a deep dive. But sometimes I just find fun things on YouTube, or some things are recommended to me, and I just pop it up on Twitter just to recommend it to you guys. Have I listened to the new Porter Robinson EP under the name Virtual Self? I have, but I didn't really care for it. I mean, it seemed like a different style, a different direction, which is quite nice. It's better than his usual deal, but I didn't find it to have much substance, honestly. Like it didn't do much for me. Like it seemed a little weirder and darker and I don't want to say edgier, but it seemed more abstract than his usual, very glitzy, high gloss, pop infused EDM music. But I still didn't care for it all that much. Thoughts on Sublime, and why do people hate ska so much? People hate ska because they're insecure. I think that's why people hate ska. I think you have to be truly like secure with yourself and enjoy life to enjoy ska music, any kind of ska music. I think that's a requirement, honestly. I think if you hate ska music, it says more about you than it does about the music. I actually would love to see ska come back a little bit. Not in like a corny Real Big Fish kind of way, but like in a for somebody to like really kind of like do it some justice, sort of like the Specials did or something, and not sound exactly like the Specials, but like come at it with that same level of artistic substance. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I wanted to tell you I'm a level 5 vegan. Oh, that's nice. It takes a while to get to level 5. I don't eat anything with a shadow. Also, the new Ajit Pai album, Net Neutrality, is going to be lit, fam. Dab incoming. That video he just came out with where it was like, 7 things you could still do on the internet after we repeal net neutrality. And it's just like, you could still shop online. You could still Instagram your food. And it's just like, okay, so basically what you're saying is we could still Instagram our food and look at cat videos. So basically it's like the internet for moms is basically what you're saying, and hey, shout out to moms. They give birth to people and that's a beautiful thing. But like, I feel like there should be parts of the internet for everybody and, for total beard neck losers and people who want to listen to Death Grips and total nerds and geeks and dorks and freaks. Not everybody wants to spend all fucking day on the internet buying shit and looking at dogs, okay? I'm sorry. Like, Jesus Christ. So I'm really looking forward to the internet just becoming a dog shopping place where you can Instagram your food. I'm really excited for that. Favorite REM album? No, favorite REM album. I mean, like probably Automated. I'm just like, I'm just like a really fucking big normie when it comes to REM. Like I don't have like, I don't know, like I'm not like a huge hardcore REM fan. I grew up with like listening to their music all the time on the radio in the 90s, and I mean not Automatic. I grew up listening to their music on the radio all the time in the 90s, but like I don't know, I'm just like, I don't really care for like a lot of their dreamier, sort of experimental earlier stuff back during their more college rock days. So I'm just like up with their most popular record, sort of like with U2. I'm just like a Joshua Tree guy. Leave me alone. Oh fuck. Have I listened to? Wait, is this the one that I wanted to? Have I listened to the Dorian Ye remix on Life of Pablo, aka the Life of Paul? If so, did you have any opinions? Appreciate the content. I did not, But Mike, I appreciate that you have supported in this live stream and that you always ask questions during every live stream. So thank you very much, sir. Maybe you should tweet that shit at me. Would I ever consider Todd Rundgren's Something Anything album to be a classic? I don't see why not. I personally am not probably like on the edge of my seat to do a classic review of it, though, if that's what you're asking. But I don't see why not. Who is the most underrated artist you know? Who I know personally? You know, I think Open Mike Eagle's pretty underrated. And I think Rosalia is very underrated. And you should check out 350 or Esoteric. Okay, I get it. Pretty good metal composer on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. Okay. Sounds a little numerical. I'll say that. Did that one. Nine Inch Nails Worst to Best? Maybe. Fandingus. How would you feel about a Beastie Boys Worst to Best? I could see my way to doing that. Also, your Sludge Metal Starter Pack finally got me to listen to Houdini, so thanks. Oh, man. Who the hell waits to listen to Houdini? If you're not listening to Houdini, get on that shit. Melvin's Houdini. Great sludge metal record. Have I listened to the new Red Vox album, Another Light? Maybe do a review if it interests you. If you've never heard of them, they're underrated and exposure would be cool. I've not heard of Red Vox. Let me go maybe save that in my internet browser over here, and I'll just check them out later. Which TV show do you think has the best soundtrack? What do I think is the best use of a song in a TV show that you can remember? Personally, I'd say The Sopranos. I don't know. I don't usually pay that much attention to soundtracks in TV shows. In movies, yes. But in TV shows, I'm trying to think of the last time I heard a TV show soundtrack that like was really awesome. I don't know. I cannot really recall. Honestly, I really cannot recall. I really can't. I'm sorry. Thank you for asking this question. I thought some of the very dreary, moody instrumentation hanging in the background of like A Handmaid's Tale is pretty cool, but I can't say I've given that much thought to soundtracking on like television series or like net series or anything like that. Probably because I suck. And this is why people, when they ask me, hey man, why don't you review movies? This is why, because when I'm watching a movie, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm such a noob. Like I'm not even like observing probably really important things most people who are movie buffs are probably observing, because I just have no eye for that stuff. If you want me to pull a song apart and talk about the way the mix sounds, I can certainly do that. Love the Rosalia review. Do you see yourself reviewing more music in Spanish in the future? I mean, if it appeals to me, honestly, like I didn't seek that record out because it was Spanish, or, you know, I didn't pick it up because I was like, ooh, it'll be really exciting to listen to a Spanish record. You know, like when I listened to it, it was just stunning songs, beautiful singing, which I mean, really kind of comes through in any language. You know what I mean? And the guitar playing was excellent too, you know, and to me, that's what was so beautiful about that album. You know, I mean, it's great that it's in Spanish, and it's nice to have an opportunity to review a foreign language album and sort of expose my audience to it. Yes, no question, you know, no doubt about that. But I think so many of the things about that record are so wonderfully beautiful and amazing that they're just universal. You know, I feel like you can show that record to people in numerous languages, you know, who speak numerous languages, and they would see the beauty in it. And some people who speak Spanish have actually hit me up and said, hey man, I love that record too. I don't even know what half the shit she's saying is. So, you know, lyrics aren't necessarily everything, you know, but performance and composition and sort of like a compelling emotional performances, those are key. Thoughts on those upset with Freddie Gibbs bringing anti-vax bars on a preview he gave of a new Madlib collab? Why is the lyrical tipping point? Why is this the lyrical tipping point if it is gangsta rap? Did I listen to Celestephone? I did not listen to Celestephone, although I should probably type this in and remind me. But Freddie Gibbs is dropping anti-vax bars. Ugh, that's disappointing. I mean, I didn't listen to it, but my initial reaction to that is disappointed. Not that I, sort of look to Freddie Gibbs to have, a proper scientific analytical knowledge of vaccines and sort of disease and health, but it is still very disappointing to hear that Freddie Gibbs is dropping anti-vax bars. Oh, what the hell? Oh, what the heck? Oh, what the heck? Here we go. A longtime listener, first-time caller. What do I think about the rapper Futuristic, also Suicide Machines? I have no idea who the rapper Futuristic is, so I can't even comment, my son. So I apologize for that, but thank you very much for the support and the question. But I've never even heard of Futuristic. And is this person having a hard time sort of building their career up in a day and age where you have a rapper named Future who was very popular and topping the charts? It's very unfortunate if that is the case. Springthony Onion Tano, who's your favorite vegan musician and why is it Waka Flocka? Waka Flocka is definitely up there. Who else is my favorite vegan musician? Who else is friggin' vegan? I'm trying to think of who else is vegan. Sometimes I forget who's vegan. Who else is fucking vegan? All right. Have I heard of the artist Felly? He's a white kid from Connecticut who's more chill vibe rapper. He's making big moves. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really into the whole chill and vibe rapper thing, but hopefully he makes it because I feel like Connecticut could use another rapper on the map. You know what I mean? Could really use another rapper on the friggin' map. What town is he from? That's my question. What do I think of the new Green Day tracks? Also, do you think do you think Nerd album will age well? I mean, if it's good, I think it will. I haven't heard the new Green Day tracks. Most likely, I don't care for them because I feel like Green Day is really past their prime at this point. Oh, Diamanda Gallis. Ever heard of her? Yes, I have. She's very out there. If so, what do I think of the strange artist? Her music is very unsettling, especially the vocals, obviously. It's very nightmarish, and I can't say I enjoy it, but it definitely makes the hair on the back of my neck stand the fuck up. For sure. Hey, Anthony, can we expect a review of the new Bell Witch album, and what is your favorite Swans album? Probably like either Filth or Soundtracks or no, not Filth. It's great, but it is kind of a flawed album. Soundtracks, To Be Kind. It's got to be one of those. Soundtracks or To Be Kind. Yeah, one of those. We'll go with one of those. Probably Soundtracks. It's a little more epic and diverse in tone, but I do love To Be Kind. Have I listened to Dro Low, a Dutch electronic dude that I like a lot? I'm curious what you think of them. I've not heard of Dro Low. I will save that recommendation though and see what's up. What do I think of Pitchfork's top 50 albums list? I haven't checked out anybody's list because I'm still making my own lists. I guess I'll maybe do the rounds and sort of check out everybody's lists. Austin's been hitting me up here and there. And it's like, hey, did you see who's number one on someone's list? And I'm like, no, I haven't. And then he'll tell me, and we'll have like a little bit of a giggle. But I haven't looked at their whole list. Also, do you think we'll get a Death Grips album in 2017? I think fuck yes, we're gonna get a Death Grips album in 2017. Do I think bots run their social media? No, I think they're just fucking with everybody. And will all 3 Saturation albums make your top 50? Yes, they will. They will all be included in my top 50. Good question. That's a good question. Do you ever think I'll do an Aphex Twin Classics review? Yes. That actually would be a very good idea. Doing ambient works or like Richard D. James album or something, or something like that. Yeah, most definitely. Anco worst to best, and do I like Rex Orange County at all? He's okay. I like what he's done with Tyler. He's definitely a talent, although I can't say I'm all that compelled by his solo stuff. But I don't know about that Anco worst to best. Not soon. I need to maybe do a few worst to bests with shorter discographies first. Bjork is coming in January. Then maybe we'll do something short and sweet, maybe like a Tool one or something, Have I heard of the Veils? I love them. You should give them a listen if you haven't. I don't think I have, but that name sounds super familiar. I'll check it out. Have I heard of the Innovative Leisure label? Yes, I've reviewed at least several artists on there, at least a couple. Highly recommend Bass Drum of Death. I know them. They're all right. Hani El Khatib. I don't think I'm familiar with that one, though. Savage Times LP. It's fucking amazing. You should review it if you fucks with it. Okay, if I fucks with it, I'll fuck it. If you had to do a crossover with another YouTuber, who would it be and why? I don't know. I think... as of right now, I think I would love to do a crossover with... I think I'd love to do a crossover with Jack's Films. You know, I just want to give him a big ol' hug and a kiss. That's all I want to do in our collaboration. That's all I want to do. You know, or iDubbbz. Just want to give him a big ol' hug and a kiss. That's all. You know, that would just be the collaboration. That would be the whole collaboration. That would be it. Yeah, that'd be it. That'd be it. Hey, Fantwan, what do I think of UGK's album Riding Dirty and Pimp C and Bun B in general? Pimp C and Bun B, one of the greatest hip-hop duos of all time. Amazing chemistry, totally complement each other. Good, vibrant charisma and personality. Riding Dirty's their best, man. I mean, it's hands down fucking their best. Your starter packs are the best thing on the internet, by the way. Thank you. Maybe I'll do a Southern hip-hop starter pack now that you've sort of sent me this... sent me this super chat. You're inspiring me. I need to do another. I know I did a Golden Age rap one. I should do a Southern hip hop starter pack. I should either do that or like an IDM starter pack. It's probably the two I should probably do next. Can I please review the new Electric Wizard album? I will. The new Electric Wizard album will be reviewed, no question. I promise that. I promise you that. Hey, Mr. Fantano, have you bought any of Daft Punk's new merch, such as their $800 varsity jacket? What? I need to check that out. Daft Punk. I imagine this is on their main website. I will need to look that up. An $800 Daft Punk varsity jacket sounds amazing. Is this all for the holidays? I imagine it is. Of course, they're Daft Punk friggin' Christmas ornaments, belts, candles. Wow, they really do have everything. Beach towel. Okay, now you're just going too far. Okay, like friggin' they have a little skateboard over here. And a mug, okay, and a yo-yo. Okay, are these real? Is this fucking real? Is this shit real? I'm gonna try to find out this varsity jacket shit. Hey, Anthony, I wanted to ask your opinion on Testament and Teddy Bears. Two very different bands I love very much. I've never heard you talk about it. Teddy, am I thinking of the band? Teddy. My friend used to listen to a band named Teddy Bears back in the day, and I'm trying to think of, is this the same? Okay, yes. Teddy Bears I've always thought was super corny. Testament, however, they're a little over the top for me, but I still think they're a very talented band. Teddy Bears I could never get into Teddy Bears, and probably never will. I will just leave it at that, I guess. Could just never get into Teddy Bears. I feel like they're very inconsistent. Seriously though, look up Savage Times, pretty please. A Smith's Classic Review. I could see my way to doing Queen is Dead. Starter pack for alternative and indie rock. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. It's a little not. I want to do maybe some more eclectic genres first, but it's definitely a possibility. Do I like psychobilly music? The Cramps, fuck yeah. Meteors, fuck yeah. And if so, what are your favorite bands? The Cramps and the Meteors. Oh wait. Somebody was asking me earlier, like, what my favorite vegan musician is, and I don't know enough vegan musicians. I guess I guess I don't know who's vegan and who isn't. Oh, Erykah Badu is vegan. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, Weird Al is vegan. I knew that, but I forgot. Oh, is Tom York vegan from what this thing says? But yeah, I remember Weird Al is vegan, and I guess he's maybe my favorite. Oh yeah, and I guess I heard Andre 3000 is vegan and vegetarian, and oh yeah, obviously Ian MacKaye is. Of course, Ian MacKaye is. Of course. Did you see that freestyle? Yes, the Black Thought freestyle was fucking awesome. That was a face melting freestyle, and they were like, and he was just dropping great bars out there that like they were nothing, like they were fucking nothing. Like I need to listen to that freestyle. I've listened to it just one time through, and I was amazed. And I picked up so many great things, but I didn't pick up everything. I feel like I need to listen to it 5 or 6 more times to like fully kind of breathe it all in. Amazing freestyle. Amazing fucking freestyle. You know, sometimes I feel like Funk Flex, you know, when he does have a like a good lyrical guest on, like sometimes he'll sort of like overhype him a little bit because I feel like he's a little bit too balls deep in the old head mindset sometimes, but that was one moment where it was just like, whoa, like this is an amazing moment, you know, and his energy and his amazement at the whole thing sort of added to the entertainment of it too. It was a great freestyle. It was a great freestyle. Hey Anthony, anything in particular you want for Christmas? If in fact you celebrate it? Yeah, I celebrate the Christmas. I don't know what I want for Christmas. I mean, I guess I have told some people what I want for Christmas, like my significant other and that sort of thing, but nothing I would tell you guys as far as what I want for Christmas. I guess I want a new good Death Grips album, and I want Team Effort to be a 10 out of 10. You know what I want for Christmas? For 2018, I want a 10 out of 10. That's what I want. I want a 10 out of 10 album. Why won't you review Declan McKenna's new album? Because I don't care for it. And people with the name Declan scare me. Please skim through the LP Everything by Beach Burns. This LA band is blurring lines between genres from hardcore punk, surf, pop, and even hip hop and doom metal. That sounds like an interesting cross-section of genres. Are you going to review MGMT's When You Die? Hell yes. Their new singles have been fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that. Although don't expect me to be talking about the new MGMT music this weekend in a Best Worst Tracks video. We just did our Best Worst Tracks, the last one for the year. Best Worst Tracks will return in 2018. Always wanted to hear your thoughts on Ballpark Music. Will I ever review them? They have a new single coming out, an album due next year. I don't think I've ever reviewed or cared for Ballpark Music. I think I've pretty much skipped all their stuff. I don't even remember listening to any of their music. I haven't even heard the album they came out with last year. I mean, I might hear it. I don't even know what label they're on. Inertia. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see. I guess it all just depends on whether or not it appeals to me, you know. Can we see you winning a Smash tournament at EVO next year? No, I will not be winning a Smash tournament at EVO next year. Because I play Pac-Man. Pac-Man is not S tier enough, and I have too much pride to play Bayonetta or Cloud. So I will not be winning EVO next year, even if I do somehow manage to go. The Blizzard is full of shit. Level 5 Vegan is from 2000 Simpsons episode. Also, Fear Factory best song album. Do the Aphex classic, please, my dude. My favorite Fear Factory album is probably it's not Demanufacture, even though that sort of is the big favorite with everybody. I prefer Obsolete a little bit more because I feel like that record is so much heavier and so much nastier, and the bonus version has an amazing Swans cover on it. So that's probably my favorite Fear Factory album. I'll say that. And I don't remember. Let me see. I think I used to own that CD. I don't own it anymore. Oh, my favorite song on there is Edge Crusher. That song was the shit. The Edge Crusher. I need to re-buy that CD. I need to re-buy that one because that was a good CD. Hey, Right Thinning Wing Tano, love your stuff. These donations are dropping in fast, so I got to make another donation. What's the best way to support your works? Shout outs to your second channel, by the way. You're doing it right now. Doing these live streams supports my works. If you see merch and you want to get merch, do merch and just watch the videos and tell your friends, and just continue to spread the music gospel, and just say, hey, where'd you hear about that good music? Oh, I heard about it from Anthony Fantano. He makes some good music recommendations. Check him out. That's all you got to do. Thoughts on Bowery Electric? I haven't even heard that, so I cannot comment. But Mr. K, thank you very much for supporting. I apologize. And I love your Conquers Bad Fur Day avatar there. Hey there, MF Mellon. I wanted to give you money in case this is your last live stream since net neutrality is dead. That is true. Maybe net neutrality will die and I will not be able to stream anymore. If you ever collab with Madlib, please name the group Mad Melon. Love you, BB. I probably will. When are we getting a new Classic Collector's Edition? You're never getting a Collector's Edition of the new Classic. However, I can attest that Cal is actually working on new music. Cal almost has 2 new tracks in the can and is already going to be working on a 3rd very soon. So it's on the way. It's coming along. And I will leave it at that. Would I ever do a best to worst of Ween? I could see my way to doing it, but like I said earlier, I do want to do some that have kind of shorter discographies for the next after I get the Bjork one done. And then I need to try to maybe reassess and sit down and think of like a new way to put them out a bit more consistently and efficiently, because I feel like the way I've been shooting them and recording them and writing them thus far is just like really hard and really time consuming, and it's just like really draining and just takes up so much time. And I'm just wondering if there's a way that I can get them done a little bit more easily. What up, Penis Tano? Met you at Death Grips in 2015 Boston. That was a good show. Just wanted to say it was cool as fuck. Also, who's more likely to disappoint tomorrow, Nerd or Brockhampton? Well, I've already heard the Brockhampton album because Kevin Abstract gave me a promo last week. So I can already say that Brockhampton album does not disappoint. It doesn't disappoint. I'm not disappointed in it for sure. So although I would, if I hadn't heard the Brockhampton album, I would say I maybe would have gone with Brockhampton. Not because I think they would come out with a terrible record, but I really do have high expectations for the Nerd record. I really do think Pharrell is like going to come back and kill it. Do I know electronic musician Carpenter Brut and his album, The Trilogy? I do. Actually, in a previous live stream, one of you guys recommended it, and it's actually like some really cool, crazy, dark, like soundtrack-worthy electro, stuff with like a little bit of dark wave mixed in. I think it's cool. I feel like after being turned on to The Trilogy, I'm definitely curious as to, when the next record is dropping. I might review it. Have I listened to the new Lapalux album? I did. I just thought it was kind of bland. It just didn't really stick with me, unfortunately. I didn't end up covering it, even though it was like on my to listen list, or onto my review list rather. But I just didn't get around to it. It just didn't really stick out to me. I've always noticed as a fan of electronic music that almost nothing from the EDM field really crosses through your channel. Why? Do you not get a lot of demand for it, or do you not care for it? It's kind of a mix of not getting a lot of demand for it, and on top of it, I feel like it's one of the least interesting branches of electronic music to talk about. And that's really kind of all I have to say about it. It's just super formulaic to the point where it's really just kind of hard to analyze, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of the point, and that's kind of the intention of the music. It's not really music where I feel like the producer or the DJ kind of invites in kind of deep thought or critique or careful consideration. You know what I mean? It's just like kind of a very visceral, straightforward sound and formula that kind of just serves a purpose, which isn't necessarily a bad thing or anything. It just kind of is what it is. And it's nothing specifically against EDM. I feel like there are some branches and shades of pop music that don't really warrant or, beget, a critique or a deep review. And I feel like it's the same kind of case with there's some shades of hip hop and rock music as well. So it's nothing really kind of specifically against that branch of electronic music or electronic music in general. I feel like every genre kind of has its artists and has its trends that kind of really aren't really worth talking about, in my opinion. Favorite thick vegan smoothie flavor? Banana, strawberry, and peanut butter, bitch. Hello, Anthony. Would I ever consider doing a classic review of System of a Down's Toxicity? Ooh, that would be a fun one. That would be a fun little indulgent. I'm going back to my 16-year-old days. Although I would maybe prefer to do System of a Down's debut record. Although Toxicity, it is the bigger, more popular record. So that would probably be the one people are more hyped for. Love you, my melon boy. Take my money and buy a fifth Flower Boy on vinyl. Truth be told, when I do some new slip mats, 2 of those Flower Boys are actually meant for giveaways to people who pick up slip mats. One I sent to my boy Austin because he really wanted a copy, so I just bought him a copy because I'm a nice boss. And the last one was for me to for personal listening, and also it's going to end up in the next vinyl update, which should be dropping Sunday. So look out for that. Hey, Anthony, what is your opinion on Mike Skinner, a.k.a. The Streets? Mike Skinner enjoyed his music quite a bit in college. Big respect to the dude. And he actually appeared in that video that I did with Danny Brown, the On Track video. If you guys caught that, the interview that I did with Danny, where he was actually hanging out in the UK while he was doing the interview. And Mike Skinner came on as a surprise guest. So shout out to Mike for actually doing that and coming on. It was a thing that Skype arranged. So it was really nice of him to sort of come on and do that. But back in my college days, I was one of a few people who really enjoyed original pirate material. Mike was great. It's just kind of unfortunate that he didn't carry over into the U.S. as much as I think he should have, or that, I feel like that he didn't kind of ignite an interest in a lot of people in UK hip hop that I think could have or should have lasted longer than it did, sort of beyond him. Where's the IDK I Was Very Bad review? I did a Wino review of it. I thought it was okay. Certainly there are some good technical fundamentals to the record, but I felt like he was really kind of drowning in his influences on that record. There were too many moments where I was like, okay, this sounds like Kendrick, this sounds like Kendrick, this sounds like Kendrick, this sounds like Kanye, this sounds like Kendrick. It was just really distracting for me, honestly. But I feel like as long as he keeps trying and doing his thing, like he'll eventually overcome that and kind of become his own thing, And it seems like he has the support and the interest so far, so I don't see why it wouldn't happen. Sort of like Lou the Human, who seems like he's going to be coming into his own very soon. He has so much support from him right now, support behind him right now. Like, just got signed, getting on these magazine covers. I think Lou the Human's going to be doing big things in 2018. Might even make it on the XXL cover. Hey, Anthony, thank you for putting me on to Much Cool Music. Favorite Merzbow album? I don't know, like Pulse Demon or something. I'm like I'm an entry level normie when it comes to Merzbow, or maybe like one of his Zadok records, the John Zorn label. Hey, Anthony, just wanted to say you're one of my favorite people on YouTube. I was lucky enough to get one of the mason jars, and I really loved the Death Grips podcast on it. Keep up the good work. Oh, glad that you finally got that. That's awesome. Yes, I sent out the mason jars, and there's going to be a few hundred more coming out very soon. I sent them out with review notes, with stickers, and a USB that has exclusive content on it. A solo podcast that I did talking about Death Grips as an entity, creatively kind of promoting its own music, promoting their own music, and kind of being their own PR in a very creative way that no other bands are. And I did a video where I did 5 smoothie recipe recommendations, 5 vegan thick smoothie recommendations. So if you guys pick up the next batch of mason jars, it will be coming with that USB with that extra content on there that is not online, that nobody else has, other than people who pick up the mason jars. You said Yachty could be rap's punk phase. Do I think XXXTentacion fits the mold better? His music is more aggressive, and he's delved into politics, which feels more punk than Yachty's status quo lyrics. I feel like he's a part of the same trend, because honestly, if you look back at punk music, there are some really dumb, stupid, goonish, and moronic punk music out there. Punk was not this monolithic thing. When you look back on the majority of punk music, a great deal of it was not really that political. Like the most like super political bands were not necessarily the super majority. And when they were, like when you did get like political lyrics, sometimes they were just like some run of the mill, like Reagan shit. You know what I mean? So, punk music certainly was revolutionary in a lot of ways, but not all, punk music was political. And I just kind of see Yachty still in sort of a punk light, because I do think he is, like I said in the video, kind of detracting from a lot of norms in the hip hop genre, much in the way that punk did. And I still see X as kind of being in that trend as well, and I don't necessarily think, aggression is kind of the hallmark of, are you being punk or not? Because if it was, then truly Death Grips would be more punk than fucking all of them. You know what I mean? But, no, I pretty much stick by my statement. I stick by it. Hey, Junior Thinny Spesh Tano, have I heard of Laurel Halo? Yes, I have. And I feel like people just go apeshit over her music who really enjoy experimental stuff. And I just cannot get into it. Either the vocals are kind of turning me off, or maybe I find the instrumentals to be like a little bit too skeletal or lifeless or something. It just does not speak to me, and I do not know why, which is mostly why I have not commented all that deeply. Sometimes I don't care for things, and sometimes I don't really know why, or I feel like I should, even though I don't. And I don't really kind of truly have an answer for why I feel the way that I do, but I just really don't care for it, honestly. Which is unfortunate, because it seems like a lot of people are enjoying it, but me personally, I'm just not. Out of all the albums I reviewed or talked about this year, which album were you the most disappointed in? Ooh, good question. Which was I the most disappointed in? Maybe the new King Cruel. I had high hopes for that record. I really did. I didn't think it was going to be like a 10 out of 10 or anything, but I really wanted to like that album. I really thought there were going to be some cool things on that record, but I was really let down by that album, honestly. I really was. Love your work, Melon Man. Even when you said Ric Flair drip from Without Warning was just okay. Get fucked, by the way. Other than that, love you, man. Hey, I still think Without Warning is pretty good. Had to shout it out in the, the honorable mentions, October Rust or Life is Killing Me. What? Good question. I guess October Rust. And I don't even know the fuck why. I feel like it's just a more iconic album. It's just a more iconic record. Thoughts on King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the year? Are you excited for the new album? Yeah, I guess they're going to do 5 out. They're going to get to that 5th album this year. So I guess they're probably going to be dropping their record in the middle of list week or after. So I'll probably have a King Gizzard review to do when I'm sort of back on my bullshit. I think it was ambitious. It was good. Although, keep in mind, Mark Kozlek dropped like 5 fucking records this year. So, this whole big deal with King Gizzard, like Mark Kozlek pretty much did it without even having to announce it. He just fucking did it. Are there any good trap ballads out there similar to 90210 or On My Dis Side? Are trap ballads a developed subgenre? What is a trap ballad? There are a lot of good trap ballads out there. I actually just pointed out another good trap ballad on the new Quality Control compilation. I feel like a trap ballad is just kind of a ballad sung song just over a trap beat. You know what I mean? In some respects, I feel like the new Post Malone Rockstar single is a trap ballad. So there's some other good trap ballads out there. Yeah, it's another trap ballad. Let's see. Anthony, I love Kendrick and have a lot of high hopes for his career and legacy, but I have a strong feeling that T-Pab will be his magnum opus. What do I think? I think it will, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad or a disappointing thing. I think he'll probably come out with some very good music into the future. And I think Damn is a very good album. I don't think it's an amazing album or a perfect album, but I think it's very good. There's certainly still a lot of songs on that project I can come back to. Element is fantastic. Fear is fantastic. DNA is really good. So, there are a lot of good tracks on that record. And Humble's one of the catchiest, most fun singles of the year. So I still think he can come out with a record sort of on that T-Pab level. So, and even if he doesn't, even if he comes out with like, fucking 3 more 9s, or even like just 3 more 8s, or 5 more 8s. Even if the only thing he ever comes out with for the rest of his career is just like albums that are 9s, just 9 after 9 after 9. Fuck it. It's great. It's cool. Hey, Ant Fan. When's the last time music gave you the chills, and what were you listening to? Something that hit you in the chest or inspired you. Love you, baby. I'm trying to remember. Man, it's been a while. It's been a while since I had I guess I would probably call it an eargasm. The last time I vividly had one was probably when I was listening to Onda Tropica, the debut record, the first record. That one definitely gave me one. Or maybe even like a little, like when I was out running a few weeks ago, I was listening to Pure Comedy. It might have just been that it was cold outside though, but I couldn't tell. I definitely had something going on, some kind of tingle. Favorite Wu-Tang Clan solo album? Also, what is your favorite music biography and or book about music? Thanks, Melon. One of my favorite music biographies or movies recently is this movie about the Wrecking Crew, which is an amazing band of studio musicians who recorded so much like West Coast pop and rock music back in the day. Like so many records and albums like would have never happened if not for the Wrecking Crew. Definitely check out that. That's like a really informative, really cool little documentary about them. And a favorite Wu-Tang solo album, it would have to be like, I don't know, Liquid Swords or Supreme Clientele. It's got to be one of those. Please take a moment to express your rating system, as it seems to hold a lot of inconsistence. Also, please do more classics. Thank you. Also, love you, babe. I don't see how my rating system holds inconsistence. A lot of people say this, and really nobody's been able to explain to me how it is inconsistent. It's pretty straightforward and easy. Anything that is above a 5, 6 to 10, means I liked it, just to various degrees. 6 means I kind of liked it. 10 means I think it's fucking amazing. I'm at the peak threshold of enjoyment. 5 is pretty much indifferent, and anything below 5 is pretty much various degrees of dislike. Going all the way down to 0. And that's pretty much it. And light, decent, and strong are pretty much self-explanatory. It's a light 7. It's kind of a 7. It's barely a 7. A strong 7's like, whoa, this is like beefy. This is a beefy 7. This is almost an 8. And decent is, kind of somewhere in the middle. It's almost like my version of the decimal system. So that's it's my rating system. And it's all based on my enjoyment. It's not really based on some kind of hardcore criteria that I'm fucking checking off boxes or anything like that. It's like just comes down to enjoyment of each track individually and how they come together as a whole. And that's pretty much my rating system. Your preference, Black Sabbath or Judas Priest? Black Sabbath all the way. Going back into 70s metal and enjoyed Sad Wings of Destiny. That is a good album. A lot better than Black Sabbath's 70s output. I wouldn't say it's sacrilegious. Judas Priest has a lot of great records, as do Maiden. But Judas Priest has a lot of good records. So I can see people enjoying Judas Priest a little bit more. There's probably like an epicness and a straightforwardness to Judas Priest. Their 70s material that, Black Sabbath's 70s material is a little bit slower, a little bit heavier, a little bit more, they're a early doom metal band, so I'll say doomy. So, I guess it all depends on kind of the emotion and the vibe you're going for. Thoughts on Justin Chancellor? I'm not even aware of Justin's music, so I can't say. Please tell me your thoughts on TFBS new album, because Peace Sign Middle Finger is When I Stopped. I can't even say. I haven't even heard that either, so I apologize, man. What do I think of paid VR concerts? Do I think they'll catch on? Do they need to be VR? I feel like there's probably a market out there for people who will pay to watch like a live stream, like a high quality, good sound, of a live performance in the same way that people will probably pay to see like a live stream of like a fight. There's definitely a market for that. Does it need to be VR? Like maybe not necessarily, but I feel like there's potentially a market for that. It would suck if that ended up killing concert attendance, but there's probably a market for it. Have I heard of Tom McDonald and his Dear Rappers track? He's an underrated Canadian rapper I should check out. No, I have not, but I will just stash that recommendation here and sort of see what's up. Thoughts on the Grateful Dead? I never could get into the Grateful Dead. It's I don't even know what it is. It's just too like, I guess, folky and lightweight for me, and jammy, I guess. I guess I just suck. Any thoughts on the best way to gain a following for a new band or musician? I feel like you have to be everywhere. You've got to be on every platform. You got to be on SoundCloud. You got to be on Bandcamp. You got to be on YouTube. You got to be dropping music videos. Put your stuff everywhere so somebody has to stumble upon that shit, is basically my recommendation. And, make sure you have a good looking product. Like, don't get some shit album cover. Like, your album cover is the first thing people are going to see about your shit. And if it looks like you're not taking it seriously, or if you're just some amateur loser, like, people are going to see that right off the bat. You want to come together with something that looks and feels like a professional product. Think of your music as a product and think about how other people are going to see it. Because if you're trying to make it in the industry, you have to acknowledge that the industry is a commercial being. So you have to function in the industry understanding that, So you have to think of yourself as an entertainer. You have to think of yourself as somebody who is making an artistic product to be consumed. Hey, Anthony, what's up? Super random question, but what would be your last meal? A ton of falafel. A ton of falafels. Button asked Yachty what the goal/message of his music was. He couldn't answer. Do you think new/punk rap needs to gain more substance, political or otherwise, e.g. Sex Pistols? I mean, if you look back at Sex Pistols interviews, they're pretty fucking nihilistic. Like, was there a point to the Sex Pistols? Like, other than to just rattle some cages and piss people off? Like, not really. You know what I mean? The Sex Pistols weren't a super deep band. Like, was Sid Vicious a super deep guy? Not really, So do I think it needs to gain more substance? I think it's doing what it's doing. It's loud, it's rebellious, it's stupid. It's exactly what young people want to listen to. They want to listen to loud, rebellious, just music that doesn't make them think about how much they think life sucks. They need an outlet for that. Hey there, Anthony. Thoughts on how much suffering Death Grips is putting us through with the Instagram spam lately? I haven't even followed it because honestly, I know everything Death Grips does on social media is just to give their fans blue balls. So I just say no. I'm not giving into that. I'm not getting blue balls off Death Grips fucking social media posts. So I just unplug from it and I just pay attention to other things. But I am still looking forward to the album. Also, Anko worst to best one. Maybe one day. I'll say that. Maybe one day. Did I ever hear the Hong to Chode album by the Simulation Mode? No, I have not. If not, are you a fan of the Wing Night label in general? I have no idea what any of that is. I will have to take your recommendation there, I guess, and just put this in my internet browser, and because that's just so utterly confusing to me. What? That's such an odd name. Hong to Chode Simulation Mode. What the hell? Hong to Chode Simulation Mode. That rhymes. Was that intentional? Yeah, I don't even know. It's by the simulation mode. I just typed that into Google and it didn't even fucking bring up anything. So I don't even know the fuck. Wing Night label. Yeah, this is like I don't know, dude. I'm guessing this probably has something to do with you, and it's like the worst promoted thing on the planet, so I can't even Google it. So chances are I'm never going to hear this. So I don't know. If you have more information, I guess. What's your opinion on silent raves? I don't know, Captain Falcon. I really have no idea. Is this an artist or a trend? They listen to music on wireless headphones. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I would love to go to a silent rave, but not have any headphones and just be there and watch the people dance in complete silence. So I guess I think they're funny. I would love to go to one for the humor, to just sort of just watch the surreal sort of act of people dancing in silence. I think I would dig that. So Tony Hawk wants to make another game with no Robomodo involvement. Thoughts? I don't know. I mean, I could see it happening, especially in especially in a day and age where you probably have a lot of people who used to grow up playing his games and or maybe like game developers themselves, and maybe they're on like Steam or some shit like that. Like if he maybe gets together with an independent developer, it could be cool. And hopefully he has a sweet ass soundtrack. That's all I'm going to say. Will I ever consider trying again with a tour? Yes, there definitely will be me trying again for a tour next year at some point. So just keep your heads up, keep your eyes peeled for that. Hi, Ant-Man, and rest of you dangles. Remember feeling kind of free by the drones? Yes, I do remember that. Check out Chameleon Paint and Soft Power by their new band Tropical Fuckstorm. I believe I shared one of their songs off their YouTube channel. I did hear at least one of them, and like I said, I did share it, and I hope I hope they come out with a new album this year. 2018. Hey, Melon, thoughts on Juana Molina? Actually, Jeremy is a huge fan of Molina's music, I believe, and he's been like recommending her music to me over and over and over. I've tried it. I think it's okay, but I'm not as crazy about it. If I'm not mistaken, we just put up his year-end list on the website, theneedledrop.com, and she made it onto his list, so... we do rep her music over here at TND for sure. Hey, Anthony, could I recommend some albums that have a similar sound and similar songwriting style to Teens of Denial and Teens of Style? I mean, I would say The Strokes. Will fucking loves The Strokes, obviously. And I guess Teen Suicide. Teen Suicide. I think they're similar in style, even though they don't like each other. Or Pavement, just like some slacker indie rock, is probably what you want to be listening to with a bit of a lo-fi edge. Do I know Reggie Snow? Yes, we do follow each other and interact on social media every once in a while. His music's a little too whispery for me personally, though. Too many people call him boring, but I think his style is super unique. He is a unique guy. I do know a Reggie Snow feature when I hear one. I wouldn't say he's for me though. I'm not crazy about his stuff. A song every once in a while or a feature or something, but I'm not super crazy about his stuff. Have I listened to the Russian group Ice Peak at all? Sad Bitch is in the running for Banger of the Year. I have not. Group Ice Peak. Ice Peak. Sad Bitch. I'm gonna look that up. That looks like the thumbnail of this video looks like a fucking nightmare. You guys have to see this. This is nightmarish. This looks like a fucking nightmare. What is going on here? You guys are really just like messing me up over here with this. Like, what is that? Look at that. That's a nightmare. It's a nightmare waiting to happen. It's a nightmare right there. Yes, I will. I'll try that out. I'll look that up. Well, I mean, I've already looked it up. I'll try it out. Duh. So I'll give that a shot. Let me see. Where's okay, here we go. I did that. Okay. Hey, Anthony, I have a problem. I can't stop listening to Forced Witness, and no matter how much I listen to something else, I cannot. What did you do to satisfy this issue? Well, my job basically forces me to listen to other things other than Forced Witness, but Honestly, if I had my way, I'd pretty much probably only be listening to Force Witness, even things that I know are like better and deeper albums, because I think Force Witness is just so dumb and fun. Yeah, I had a point in time too where pretty much all of my free music listening time was Forced Witness by Alex Cameron. So I cannot blame you. I cannot blame you. New Cal tape when? Next year. Shooting for next year. Also, who is your most hated rapper? I don't know if I really hate anybody in the rap game. I don't really hate anybody. I don't really know anybody personally enough to hate anybody. But I guess you could probably gain some kind of opinion from who I've reviewed the most negatively. Okay. All right. This is the millionth time somebody has recommended. Oh, yes. Okay. I tried out Brent's new album. It popped up right on the front page of Apple Music. And I don't know. I thought it was okay. I wasn't that moved by it. As far as like, I prefer my R&B music to have a little bit more bite to it. I thought his vocal range was a little limited and didn't really leave me with much. Nor did I find the vocal performances to be all that like emotionally compelling. I get that everybody's sort of into this very pretty, stripped back, skeletal, very vibey and minimal style of R&B right now, but I don't care for a lot of it, and that was just kind of one example of it not really doing much for me. Sorry for the double super chat, but what books would I recommend for somebody who's getting into super criticism? I guess you mean music criticism. I guess it depends on what you're critiquing. I guess here are my recommendations. It depends on what you're critiquing. I would try to look up books that are historical in nature and are about the certain genre that you're trying to familiarize yourself with. I'll say that. Of which there are plenty out there, some of which I have over here, but I don't have a second to go jump over at my bookcase. But another thing that I'll recommend to you guys is if you're trying to maybe get a grip of music criticism and talking about music at length and going in detail about music, I would look up the 33 1/3 series. They have some really excellent books in that series about a variety of classic albums that I highly recommend. I myself one day would like to write one about The Money Store. Don't beat me to that, okay? I just figure that maybe I need to wait a little bit longer and, for the album to become kind of classic or something, But that would be my dream. That would be my dream, to write a 33 1/3 book about The Money Store. That would be amazing. All right. Hey, the end of the world is here. Ever heard of Ben Howard? Peep you that dark folk second album. Favorite Nick Drake? Thanks, Melon. We're all ants on the cosmic log of insignificance. I do agree with that last point right there. Ben Howard. I feel like I've heard Ben Howard's music, but I have no fucking clue. And favorite Nick Drake. I mean, it's obviously Pink Moon because I'm a fucking normie. And again, I will co-sign that statement about being an ant on the log of cosmic insignificance. That was a beautiful statement. Hey, Melon, have I ever peeped the flashbulb? Yes, but I do not. It's a little much for me. I guess it's just really kind of overwrought in my opinion. But I'm glad it's out there. Some people are into kind of more intricate music that's sort of intricate for the sake of being so. I think we'll appreciate it. No, I still do not care for Stoney. However, I am anticipating that Post Malone's new album is going to actually be good. I'm actually kind of banking on it. That's not to say that I'm going to like it just because I said that, but I would predict that it's going to be decent, at least. Have I heard of Captain Trips and the Kid? No. What the hell is that? What the fuck is that? Sometimes the names of these things that you guys tell me to check out, and what I love is that Captain isn't even all the way spelled out. Trips and the Kid. What the fuck is Captain Trips and the Kid? What the fuck is that? It's obviously your Bandcamp. So I guess, no, I have not heard of it because it's your Bandcamp. So I guess I'm going to hear it after I'm done with this since I just punched it into my friggin' browser. Any grime / UK artists you find yourself returning to? Definitely Wiley. Definitely Kano. Also, check out the Splurge Boys' Chill and Bill Criminally Underrated album. Okay, it sounds fun. The Splurge Boys. The Splurge Boys. Chill Bill. I guess we'll see what the hell the Splurge Boys are. It sounds kind of gross. Although I know splurging doesn't have any sexual connotations to it. When you put it next to the word boys, it kind of does. So I think maybe they should reconsider the name. Lou Reed's Transformer or LCD Sound System Sound of Silver. What? I mean, obviously Transformer. Like, I love Sound of Silver, but like, come on. Have I listened to the recent Knox Fortune album Paradise? I have, but I didn't care for it all that much. It just did not stick with me, unfortunately. Yo Melon, you dig the band Whores? They're okay. If you haven't heard from them, they're a sludgy noise rock band. They are, but to me, they haven't really stood out in that field of music. Though they do, have some good heavy production. I see the appeal. I see why people are digging them. And also, I love the cover to their last album. So, I definitely like them. I appreciate them. But I'm not too crazy about them. Thoughts on Bastille? Not a Bastille fan. Just super, I don't know. Too clean for me, I think. Too clean. Let me verify here that I'm thinking of the right band. The pop rock band. Yeah, I'm not into Bastille. I'm really not. I think their music's too safe, in my opinion. Hey, Anthony Answer Tana. That's a good one. Thoughts on alt R&B album Me by Empress of? I feel like I've heard that, but I can't recall. I need to see the album cover. I know that name. Okay, yes, I have heard this. It didn't do too much for me. I don't really have any thoughts on it. It's just kind of one of those albums of which there are many that like I give it a listen and I'm just like, I know I don't care for this, but I have other things to do and I have to just like go and listen to something else. So I'm never going to figure out why I don't care for it, but I know I don't. And I just have to kind of trust my gut here. And for the most part, I can trust my gut. Mostly my gut feelings do lead me to where I want to go. And they do tell me, in fact, how I do feel truly about an album pretty soon. But I may not know the inner workings of a record or why it's sort of turning me off until I actually give it that third, fourth, or fifth listen. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of where I ended up landing with it, unfortunately. What is my view on math music? I recommend the Bandcamp Quadruple for some cool... Quadruped? I think that's how you say it. Bandcamp. Okay, for some cool shit. And also waiting for a Kanye is the greatest rapper ever meme video. That would be fun. Although I think if I was to return to that series, I would probably do a Russ one first. A random iTunes link. Can you review my playlist and give your opinion? Like right now in the middle of the live stream? Probably not because I have a million questions. But maybe if you hit me up on Twitter, I can look at it later. Or if you hit me up, anthony@theneedledrop.com. That's my email. Hey, Anthony, I love your reviews. Keep up the good work. Will you say, Papa Roach is a solid 10? Yes, I will. Would you legally adopt me as your child? Hell no. I have all the paperwork sorted out. I can fax it all over to you. I'm going to make you proud. Thanks, Dad. Well, only if you do chores. You got to be good at doing chores. Some dishwashing, some floor cleaning, some window cleaning. You got to be good at dusting. We have a lot of dust here. We need you to do some dusting and some vacuuming. You're going to be doing a lot of chores, boy. Any thoughts on the self-release car seat headrest stuff? It's pretty good. I've talked about a little bit of it in the best worst tracks. Or are you talking about like the earlier stuff, like on Bandcamp? The earlier stuff like did almost nothing for me, and I did not see myself liking Teens of Denial as much as I did. Even after I reviewed Teens of Style. Did not see myself liking that as much as I did. But I think Will really did come through. I think his newer stuff is way more interesting and more mature and more complex than his older work, which I just think is kind of standard Bandcamp fare for the most part. Hey, Anthony, how much influence do you think Tonight LP had on the popularity of trap music today? I think it definitely had an influence on the sound, and not just on trap music, but just bangers in general. I feel like for a lot of people that the ripples of that EP are still being felt. I don't know if that influence is much being felt in a lot of super duper mainstream records right now. I feel like there are a lot of, sort of influences earlier in the decade that you could pinpoint, and Tonight is definitely one of them. Have I ever listened to Drool by Namandi? No, I have not. I don't think I have. I'm just going to save that and sort of check it out. Yes, I've heard of Boredoms. Everybody who enjoys Japanese noise music knows Boredoms. Boredoms are great. I don't know, if you're looking for some experimental music from the Far East, highly recommend some Boredoms. PP, Glasses, okay. Thoughts on Viper the Rapper? Have I listened to him seriously? Check out his Hustle and Thick. Did he come out with an album? I think he came out with an album like every week or like every day or like every month or something. Like I can't even keep track of how much output he's come out with. But personally, no, I don't take Viper seriously. I just think he's bad. And I just leave it at that. Like, I sort of see the Yul Cowards hype, but I feel like that album gets really boring for me really fast. I just kind of leave it at that. I really don't care for Viper all that much. Yeah, I just don't. And Boredoms, because I know there are some people out there who probably don't know them and probably, are wondering. Listen to like Super Roots 7 or like Super Roots, probably Super Roots 7 or Super Roots 8. And or listen to like Vision Creation New Sun. That's probably like their biggest, most popular album. Or Pop Tatari. That one, some people like that one too. But Vision Creation New Sun's their most popular one. But yeah, I don't take Viper very seriously. Also, check out Bogdan if you haven't. Really crazy stuff from Apex's old label. Okay, love you. All right, I'll save that recommendation. All right, let's see. We got like 30 minutes left. I might cut out a little early. I have a friend who says that rap isn't music. He calls it off-time talking over beats. It says it's music for white people who want to be black. Well, what are the black people doing who listen to it? Are they listening to rap music? The music specifically for white people who want to be black, but again, what about all the black people listening to rap? What are they doing? Okay. Is he just too close-minded to have an argument with? Yeah, I would say he's beyond help. Just I don't know. Just enjoy the other things that I guess make him your friend, I guess. I suppose. Hey, bud, really dig your channel. Been subscribed for a bit. You should listen to local Austin band called Yellow Fever and their alternate band Deep Time. They're all connected to Bill Callahan. Oh, are they? Okay. That interests me. Bill Smog. That interests me. Have I heard of Benny Revival? No, I have not. He's an anonymous rapper. Yeah, he's anonymous. You just told me his name. From North Florida, and the beats he raps over are super 90s dance and funk inspired. He has 1 million SoundCloud accounts. Very creepy and cool. That actually sounds very interesting. I'm going to save that shit. Sounds intriguing. Yes, I have heard of... I don't know how to say that band's name. And what do I think of them? I don't care for them very much. I'm trying to like pinpoint exactly what it is that... let me look at the album cover again. Okay, yes. This to me was just like some really run-of-the-mill alt-rock. Like, I personally don't see the hype. Yeah, it's just really average to my ears. I know I tried this out when I saw it on Apple Music, and I just needed to kind of refresh my memory with the album cover. But yes, a lot of people have asked me about that band, but I just don't see the excitement, honestly. Hey, Anthony, mentioned that you were going to talk about your friend, yes, his experimental folk album last time you streamed. Just wondering if you are still planning on talking about it. Yes, there were a lot of recommendations during the last stream that I did not do because I had streamed for 2.5 hours and I forgot to do it. And to probably mention all of those, I would have had to stream for another half hour. Yes, guys, look on your screen. This person actually has a very cool little experimental folk album on Bandcamp. Do check it out. It is actually a decent little record. Some of the vocals are kind of rough, but it's actually a decent little album. Give it a shot. So I apologize for not mentioning it during the last one. Well, I reviewed the new Joyner Lucas album. I mean, the one with the phone number. I didn't really care for, and I thought it had some kind of corny moments on it, and it was just really long and way overloaded. But I could see my way to reviewing his new one whenever that drops. But I'm not going to review the one that came out this year. It's just kind of past that point. Hey, Melon, did you happen to catch Alexandra Saviour's debut, Belladonna of Sadness? Also, thoughts on 68 album, 2 parts, Viper. No idea about the 68 album, although that Savior record does sound very... What the hell just happened? What the hell just happened? I just had that whole thing up and just disappeared right in front of my friggin' face. Okay, there it is. That sounds interesting. I will... Well, I guess I'm not going to save it, since it's not going to let me. Come on. What the fuck? Okay, well, I'm not going to have you guys just watch me try to fucking copy and paste a fucking album title. I'm sorry. I apologize, but I have not heard it. Alexandra Savior. I'll just try to check it out later. Hey, Obi-Wan Tano, what is your favorite track from the 1,000 tracks Kool AD has released this year? Kool AD to me has become very average since Das Racist broke up, so I do not check out any of his stuff as of late, as I feel like a lot of his material post Das Racist is very predictable, it's very unambitious, it's very boring, it's very mediocre. It's a little funny and tongue-in-cheek sometimes, but I do not find him post Das Racist interesting at all. So I've been pretty much avoiding anything and everything he does post Das Racist. Thank you, Sensei. Honestly, what's your favorite movie soundtrack? A buddy of mine, Jeremy, just bought me the Akira soundtrack on vinyl, the Symphonic Suite, and that's actually one of my favorite movie soundtracks. So I'm actually really looking forward to hearing that and showing that off in a vinyl update. So there you go. There's an answer right there. Resist capitalism, baby! Resist capitalism, baby! I'll just drop one of those there for that. Hey, Anthony, I highly respect your opinions and would adore your honest criticism on some tunes. Is there an email that people like me can send stuff to? Tear us apart. I don't do a whole lot of feedback direct to people who just randomly send me their music. It does take quite a bit of time out of the day to get that done. And a lot of the time, I feel like some people aren't necessarily ready to hear criticism as they are just kind of in the super duper early demo stage and they've barely kind of figured out what exactly it is that they want to do. But, if you want to throw me recommendations and you just want to just throw your stuff out there on the off chance that, listen, I'm much more interested in music that you have. If you feel like it's really good and it's a professional product, and you feel like it's actually just as good as anything that you see me reviewing on a regular basis. If you feel like you have that in your pocket, anthony@theneedledrop.com. That's my email. But, do not send demos to me to be ripped apart. That's not really, I feel like beneficial to anybody necessarily. Like, I feel like if you have a music product that you've made, and you're really worried about how it sounds and you want to know how you can do it better or something like that, I would maybe book some time with or try to reach out to a professional producer and just ask them what they think about it and ask their opinion. Because honestly, probably a lot of what you'll need to fix are technical issues that a producer will be able to give you very good, precise insight into that I probably will not be able to over email. So that is probably my recommendation to you. What do I think of UK electronic, the UK electronic music scene, Scream, Benga, genres like dubstep and UK garage? I think they're great, but I mean, they're definitely not sort of at the peak of relevancy that they used to be. However, the UK has always been a hotbed of incredibly creative and boundary pushing electronic music. And I'm sort of wondering, I feel like a lot of the new bubblegum bass stuff that we've been hearing is kind of like that new wave. And I'm sort of excited to hear what else is going to be coming out of there very soon. That's a game changer, because I mean, as far as electronic music, some of those game changing stuff, that's where it comes from. Do I think that hip house has a solid chance of becoming the next trend in hip hop, with guys like Goldlink and Vince Staples popularizing it recently? I could see it blowing up. Maybe hip house has been around for a long time. Even longer than trap music. I mean, like, fusions of hip hop and house have been around for decades. So, and there have been some really big hip house singles out there. There just hasn't really been like a kind of a classic hip house album. You know what I mean? So, I mean, in a lot of ways, I feel like, hip house, it definitely has its opportunity to return, with hip hop being the zeitgeist that it is at the moment. However, I feel like it's also kind of had its moment in the sun. You know what I mean? But it's never quite had its moment in the sun in the way that like hardcore hip hop did, or like, G-Funk did. You know what I mean? So I guess there's still a chance that it could come back with a vengeance and sort of connect with the millennial generation in a way that it didn't previously, with past generations. Have I heard of Chicano Batman? Yes, it did get recommended during the last live stream, but I have not tried it out yet. Soulful art rock with Latino roots. Yes, I did try it out. It did get recommended. It did get recommended during the last live stream, and I have plans to try it out. Hey Melon, would I recommend as what would I recommend as the best ghetto audio setup? Minus $100. Probably just like a boombox. If you're looking to go that cheap with it, maybe just a boombox, or buy like as cheap an amplifier as you can, and then go to the Salvation Army or Goodwill, buy some speakers on the cheap, and then steal a record player or a CD player from somewhere, and then you'll have it. You'll be there. Have I heard of U.S. Girls? I have. I didn't care for it. One of the new songs I heard all that much though, but still, could be a good record showing some promise. Her new album comes out in February, and her album Half Free is really good. Serious question. Do I regret interviewing Sam Hyde? Do I still find him funny? I love his comedy, but maybe not all of his politics. Personally, no, I don't regret interviewing him. When I interviewed him, it came from a genuine place of curiosity that I thought he was a funny comedian. And at the time that I interviewed him, he was on the cusp of having an Adult Swim show. I was one of many publications and outlets online that had covered him or talked to him or talked about $1 Million Extreme in some way, shape, or form. Even The Onion did that shit. Who joined in on the lambasting of me over that article, which of course, like, one of the smoking guns was that I talked to Sam Hyde. No, I don't regret talking to him, because the fact that I talked to him, everything about that is explainable. It's like, I didn't talk to him because I want to be like him, or I think he's like, I think his politics are sexy. I interviewed him because I thought he was a funny comedian, and he was about to have an Adult Swim show, which to me was, a safe interview. I knew he was edgy, for sure. That was, from what I understood, a part of his comedy brand, but I didn't really see it as anything deeper than that. Obviously there are points in the interview where I'm still trying to find out if that's the case. I'm just like, okay, well, don't you feel like you're adding to this nastiness with, you're jumping into the political ring with the type of comedy that you're doing, which I asked him pretty pointedly. And I tried to get the sense that, like, he was talking about, society's become so feminized. And I'm like, well, let's like look back to the 1950s where it was more patriarchal. Was that for the best? Is that like the best, honestly? So, I don't regret it. Throwing a recommendation your way, Australian composer Kevin. Okay, I'll save that. Thank you very much. Hey, White and Email Tenna, have I heard of Cal Chichester's music is pretty... Yeah, Cal sucks. Fuck Cal. Tyler sent me a fucked Flower Boy and won't take it back. What a bitch. How is your Flower Boy fucked? I guess I should go check my Flower Boy. Maybe mine's fucked. How is yours fucked? There are fucked Flower Boys out there? I'm curious about that. I want to know about that. Rick Lewis. Thank you very much, Rick. And, hey, how about the new Hannah Diamond EP? Giving it a shot yet? What? There's a new Hannah Diamond EP? What the fuck? I didn't even know that shit was out. I didn't even know that shit happened. How long ago did that happen? Make Believe? The 2016 one? How new are we talking here? I don't even see a new one over here. I don't know. Although I see... Okay, wait. The EP. Soon I won't see... Oh, okay. Did this just drop? December 13th. It did literally just drop. Oh, shit. I need to try this. Although it just has 3 tracks on there, so... I don't know. I haven't heard it yet, but I guess I'm excited. I do like Hannah Diamond. $10. Message retracted. Probably some naughty words in there. Let's see. Let's go down here. What are the people saying? My penis is 666 inches. That's a good one. Ha ha ha. Funny melon head. Ha ha ha. Thoughts on HMLTD? They're actually going to be in my top 50 singles of the year's list. I think they're great. I can't wait for that album. Net Neutrality. Net Neutrality rules. This was a while back, but did I ever listen to Loverboy by Lomboy? No, I did not. I didn't. What? What? Lomboy. Lomboy. The title intrigues me. I've not heard it, but Tokyo, Japan, downtempo artist, could be cool. We'll see. No, but I've not heard it. Thoughts on Biffy Clyro? I don't like their music at all. I think it's really corny. Greta Van Fleet, they sound too much like Led Zeppelin. The Last Jedi sucks. Maybe it does. Hey, Anthony, what do I think of Buckethead? I think he comes out with too much music. He's very much a quality, under quantity artist. But super talented, super amazing virtuoso, super creative, very eccentric, very off the wall. Respect the dude's technical talent, but he has little in the way of a classic under his belt, in my opinion. New Wiley. Is there New Wiley? There's New Wiley. Miguel record. Not sure if I'm going to review the Miguel record. Not really all that hype on the Miguel record. Buffa. Rumoplasm. Arctic Monkeys. New Wave Starter Pack. That would be fun. Brother Ali. I think he's cool. I just don't care for his music all that much lately. Revival. Not good. Maybe it will be not good. Love for Mexico. Shout out to Mexico. Which hypothetical album would you anticipate the most? Andre 3000 solo, Child Rebel Soldier, Kanye and Chance, Earl and Tyler, Chance and Gambino. Okay. Let's okay, one gotta go. Let's say Chance and Gambino. I would listen. I like Chance solo. I like Gambino solo. I would never want to hear them anywhere near each other on an entire album. I would throw that one in the trash. Kanye and Chance, fuck no. No, I would not want to hear that either. Andre, it would honestly be a tie between Andre solo or Tyler and Earl. And it might be a little more Tyler and Earl because I feel like Andre at this point, I feel like he wouldn't really have the heart to do a solo album. I feel like he doesn't really care. I feel like a Tyler and Earl solo album, if they really did get together, I feel like it could be fucking fire. What is your favorite Connecticut radio station? WNPR or WESU. Shout out to WESU. Or the college radio station at my former college, WSIN. Ever listen to the Sam Beam, Jessica Hoop collab? I did in preparation for my review for her new album, and I thought it was pretty good. You know, I missed it the year that it came out, but I thought it was decent. Their vocals came together very nicely on the album, I'll say that. Although I don't typically care for just how gentle Sam Beam's approach is a lot of the time. Better than anything I've heard either of them put out. I think it was on par with her newest album, and I think Sam has come out with better records, before that one, but I thought it was good. How come you never review any of Khalifa's music? I feel like his music is so uninteresting. That kind of goes back to the EDM question earlier. Some people are asking, or this one person was asking, how come you never review any of these EDM artists? And it's because I feel like their music really just kind of doesn't even warrant any level of critique. And I feel like Wiz Khalifa is an example of a rap artist whose music is so boring and uninteresting. Like, what does Wiz Khalifa really bring to the table? Like, he's not that lyrical. His voice is boring and uninteresting as hell. The beats he picks are super generic and run of the mill. Like, the dude's flow is very middle of the road and average. Most of the lyrics are about smoking weed, so it's like you kind of know that going into it. Like, there's literally nothing special about Wiz Khalifa. He's like just a glorified stoner rapper with a hit song, and I don't know. I feel like he's just kind of cornered the niche market on people who just want to listen to rap while getting high. So, I mean, good for him. Glad he's seeing success. I don't really hold anything against the guy personally, and I feel like, everybody has an audience, but Wiz Khalifa's music is just so boring to me, so uninteresting to me, literally just like has nothing for me personally. Also his feature lists are just always just disgustingly trendy, and, I don't know. I could probably just rattle on and on and on about how uninteresting Wiz Khalifa's music is, but I have other questions. Do you think we will ever get another Tool album? I feel like one of the dudes from Tool just said there's going to be another Tool album, so I do think we will. Which one is my favorite? Probably, I'm going to say this wrong because I know people don't like it when I say it wrong. Anemia is my favorite Tool album. Favorite frontrunner for album of the century so far? The century? No. We're 17 years into the century. Nobody's calling the album of the century. Okay, nobody's calling that shit. Album of the century so far. That reminds me. Maybe if I've been doing this by the year 2050, I should do a best albums of the century so far list. But I don't know. Like, I guess it would have to be one of my 10s, like either the Money Store or T-Pab. So I guess one of those. Thoughts on reggae music? Any plans to review more artists in these genres? Chronics. I did try out the new Chronics. I did try out the new Damian Marley. Neither really kind of stuck out to me as being very unique in the genre. I do enjoy some older roots reggae, and I enjoy quite a bit of dub reggae, Scientists and Upsetter stuff, and Lee Scratch Perry and King Tubby, that stuff. I do enjoy quite a bit of dub reggae, and I haven't heard a whole lot of new dub reggae that's sort of blown me away. So, thoughts on the current black metal scene? New Watain soon. I've always thought Watain was just kind of okay, like a C or B level black metal band. They never really stood out to me as one of the best, but the current day one, hopefully it sort of gets more interesting and sort of goes back to kind of its Nordic roots a little bit, because I feel like the American black metal hype wave has kind of died down, the whole atmospheric wave, which I think really just fucking got old after a while. I feel like a lot of that has sort of died down in relevancy. So now maybe like a lot of those more purist groups can kind of come back and make a little bit of a comeback. Also, to me, as far as black metal goes, like that last Behemoth album is like such a fucking landmark record. I would love to hear more records like that coming down the pipe. Is there a worse rap group than the Cottonmouth Kings? What is that? Like probably the Hollywood Undead, or one of those like crunkcore groups, probably one of those. Best album you haven't reviewed? Good question. I mean, I pretty much review every album that I think is fantastic, but best album I have not reviewed. What is the best album I haven't reviewed? I really don't know. I don't know if there is such a thing. Before I die, I want to see you play the bass line from Patrice Russian's Forget-Me-Nots. Well, first I would have to learn it, and then I guess I would have to play it, and then I guess I would have to record myself playing it. So, hold on, I'm going to take this recommendation right here. So, and I don't know when or if that's going to happen, but I guess I'll save this request here, and who knows, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen. Okay, guys, this is the last 5 minutes. We're just going to chill here in the chat here. Miguel low-key sucked. I thought it did kind of stink, especially that first track. The lyrics on that track and sort of the instrumentation on that track were so horrible and messy that I was just like, this is gross. And the new XXXTentacion EP sucks. It sucks. That's my review. The new XXXTentacion EP, it sucks. And I'm not going to continue to spam my video feed with his music this year. Maybe at some point next year, if he doesn't come out with something that totally stinks, but the new EP sucks. It's pretty terrible. So there you go. And those are my thoughts. Favorite Lynch soundtrack is fucking Eraserhead. That thing is a fucking nightmare. God, you guys are going so fast. Mudhoney. Mudhoney's a good band. Melonhead Spam. Fantano needs to mature. Thoughts on Spinetta? The person? Capital Steez, hell yeah. Posthumous album coming out soon, I hope so. Thoughts on Boogie? I love Boogie, it's a great track. Review for that album coming very soon. New Nerd album, yes, I'm very excited for that. Lou Reed rules. Sugar Pine, shout out to Sugar Pine 7. Shout out to Sufjan Stevens. Juliana Barwick is great. I've reviewed her stuff multiple times. Shout out to Toad's Place in friggin' New Haven. Where's the Billy the Fridge review, Melon? I can't review Billy the Fridge because I hate him. We're enemies. We're mortal enemies. And if I reviewed his music, it would just be very biased because I hate him. Have I listened to Fareo? If so, what are your thoughts? I have not, so I have no thoughts. I apologize. What genre would you like to review more and listen to more? Seeing your bicep review was awesome. Would love to see you review more house music. House music would actually be cool to review more. I would love to review more or hear more sort of like folk and acoustic music that moves me and blows me away enough to the point where I'm just like, oh yeah, hell yeah. I want to review that. But yeah, house music, more house music would be nice. Least favorite album? What, of all time? Melon, Star Wars, Gatecreeper EP. It's pretty good. Thoughts on TV Girl? It's okay. Jazz is cool. Or maybe more jazz reviews. I barely did any jazz reviews this year. I suck. New By Mooey Drugs. It was okay. It's an okay, industrial rap album. What the fuck is this? Paul from the Drunken Peasants needs his dick on Pornhub. Mr. Naughty Priest sends in $200. Well, it's your 200, and I guess he does need it on Pornhub, but I don't see what that has to do with me. I don't know if there's anything I can do about that, other than maybe make the recommendation, I suppose. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. I don't get it twisted. I fucking appreciate that. That $200 is actually going to go toward me and my wife have decided to get involved in a toy drive this year, and I thought I might drop like $500 on that. Get some toys for some kids in need. So that'll probably go to use there. Bygones versus Terramellos. No, let's say Terramellos. Love your content. Did you listen to Bell Witch's Mirror Reaper? I did, but I just thought it was okay. It was just like way too patience testing for me. Like it felt like it's there's some doom metal records, and that one especially, because it feels like it's very slow. It's very stretched out. That just did not kind of outlast my will to listen to it. Also, if you want good house artists, check out Jan Jelinek. That sounds cool. I'm assuming this person is a contemporary artist. Give me one album I need to buy right now. I would say either the new Alex Cameron album, the new Alex Cameron album, the new Alex Callanan album, the new Kieran J. Callanan album, or the new Big Crit album, or the new Brockhampton record dropping tonight, I would say. I just got into old blues stuff, but I'm very uneducated about it. Do you have any old hidden gems in the blues genre that I could check out? I mean, are you listening to Howlin' Wolf? Are you listening to Robert Johnson? I would highly recommend probably going back and looking into Sun Records and some of the early blues music on there, some of the early rhythm and blues, some of the blues compilations on that label. There are a lot of great blues artists on the Sun label that you can check out. Sun Records. Look it up. Hey, Melon, thoughts on Billy Talent? Do not care for Billy Talent. Little too wimpy, in my opinion, of a rock band. Do I prefer Michigan or Illinois? Illinois all the way. Has Deeply by Screaming Females grown on you at all since my review? It has not, but still I am looking forward to that record. Oh, is that not dropping this year? I thought that record was coming out this year, but maybe it's coming out next year. The new Screaming Females album. Did it? I thought it was coming out this year. All at once. Yeah, I guess it's coming out next year. Oh, was that always the case? Did that get pushed back? Maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm not paying attention. But I'm still looking forward to that record though. So, but that's a song I anticipate though will probably grow on me in the context of the album itself, you know. Have you ever listened to Twin Limbs from Haplo from last year? I did not. Not even familiar with that artist. I have to admit, or at least I don't think I am. I'm even typing it in here and I'm not sort of seeing that artist, so I don't even know I'm going to find that artist. Favorite underachiever tracks? Have I heard AK Solo Project, Blessings in the Gray too? You know, even though I do enjoy the double sort of concept album that they did, you know, the more time that draws on, the more I realize that some of my favorite tracks of theirs are kind of the big single tracks off of Indigoism, you know? I feel like, you know, definitely Revelations, definitely So Devilish, and especially Gold Soul Theory, which I think is still kind of their best track. I don't really know if they have topped that song, honestly. Okay, so you become dictator. How do you fix the government in 3 steps? I feel like first, campaign finance. Well, I mean, it's okay. Am I dictator now? Like, so do we still have elections? Because I guess the first thing that I would do, if I could just change things that I think are probably the worst things about the current political system, step 1 would probably be just campaign finance reform, just top to bottom, you know, and you take that and you make friggin' what's the word I'm looking for? Fucking campaigns publicly financed. So then you don't have corporations basically buying out politicians and saying, okay, we've given you this amount of money, or we've given this super PAC or your political party all this money. And then from there, you have to do everything that we're saying, or, you know, you're basically beholden to the donors. Okay. So campaign finance reform, top to bottom, number 1. Number 2, I feel like you would need to start a government news organization, much in the way that the UK has the BBC. And then on top of that, you would actually need to start enacting antitrust laws and anti-media monopoly laws that are already on the books, or write some more laws so that we actually have real, legitimate diversity in our media. Because a majority of everything that you hear, read, and see as far as news, television, magazines, newspapers are owned by 6 companies. They're owned by 6 companies. So as a result, the amount of information that you get and the spectrum of opinion that you receive through those information outlets is super narrow. It's super limited. As a result, you see issues that are constantly looked over and ignored on a lot of these platforms, like net neutrality, for example, because obviously a corporation like Comcast or a news organization like, MSNBC, they're only going to benefit off of net neutrality being repealed. They're only going to benefit off of that shit. So as a result, you don't see that shit talked about, or when you do see it talked about, it's just in a really fucking mealy-mouthed way so that they're just more misinforming you than they are actually helping you. So fixing our media landscape so that we actually have a properly informed populace, fixing our campaign finance system so that you actually get a wealth and a variety of candidates and opinions and perspectives on the political landscape so that people actually have an option. And I feel like I'm not sure exactly what the third thing I would do is. But I'm not so much here to say, hey, everybody's got to do this, or I'm a fucking dictator, so no longer is anyone able to see this or read this or do whatever this other fucking thing. I feel like what's important is to be able to give people choice and allow people to actually have an honest ideological discussion and debate about a lot of the issues that face our country today. And I feel like because the media poisons the well, because corrupt politicians poison the well, we just aren't able to have that discussion. We just aren't able to have that debate. And I feel like if we got rid of those two things, we would be sort of saving ourselves a lot of trouble. All right, I'm going to take a few more and then I have to split. Hey, Fandango, I love your content and hope you're having a good day. How many hours of music do I listen to in a day? I mean, I'm pretty much listening to music for the most part, like 9 to 5. It's like my job, I mean, if I'm not listening, I'm writing, I'm shooting video. So, I mean, it's hours and hours and hours a day. Best Beatles album. My favorites are Abbey Road and White Album. And check out Bonobo Dial M for Monkey. I have heard that album and it's okay. I'm not crazy about Bonobo in general, but that's a good one. And guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, last one. Hey there, new here. Hi. What do I think about the Ali and AJ album? And what do I think about the cover of Last Christmas by Carly Rae Jepsen? Oh, I need to check that out. Carly's music, generally, I love. I think she's fantastic. Great voice, great, vibrant, girly personality. Her music is very fun and sort of uplifting and light on the ears. So I'm actually kind of excited to hear that she's done a cover of Last Christmas. Who has the best goddamn teeth in the game? Me! And I have not heard the Ali and AJ album, so I cannot comment on that. So, but thank you for being new here and supporting. And if you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, you're the best. It's been a great live stream. Love you, love you, love you. I'll catch you in the next one. Anthony Fantano, live streaming. Watch the Brockhampton review tomorrow. You'll see it then.